Yes. Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Kickoff Discussions podcast, your ultimate destinations for all things football. I am Yusuf Opeyemi Balogun. First things first, I want to appreciate each and every one of you for your support, your comments, your likes, your share. It means the world to me. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. First, it was a dramatic weekend. It was a dramatic weekend, and there are lots of talk points from the game that were played. But before we get into the main discussion for this video, let me quickly give you the result of the matches that was played over the weekend. Yes, Aston Villa beat Wolves 2-0 at their home at the Villa Park. Nottingham Forest played 1-1 with Crystal Palace. Sheffield United also draw Fulham 3-3. Chelsea played 2-2 draw with Burnley. Tottenham beat Luton Town 2-1, while Bournemouth also won. They won Everton 2-1, and Brentford played 1-1 with Manchester United, while Newcastle played a dramatic 4-3 following a dramatic comeback from 3 goals down to 3-1 down to West Ham United. And on Sunday, Liverpool actually won the game as expected. They won 2-1, and Arsenal and Manchester City played 0-0 draw at the Etihad Stadium. Well, for Aston Villa, it was the victory I expected them to win because, as I said in the last video, they will be looking to qualify for the Champions League, and they should do whatever they have to win this kind of games so that they will be in contention for Champions League football next season. And as for Newcastle, they quickly turned around their fortune after they went down 3 goals to West Ham before eventually scored. They eventually won the game through Harvey Barnes, 2 goals from open play, and Ishak scored 2 goals from the penalty spot. Well, for me, I would say Newcastle were relentless, and in the second half they were duly rewarded by getting 3 goals in the second half. Actually, they scored the first goal from the penalty spot through Alexander Ishak, and in the second half they conceded 3 goals. They conceded 3 goals, and eventually they came back and won the game. It was a deserved 3 points for me because they were relentless in the second half. They were all over the place just to get the goals against West Ham, and they were rewarded by their relentless. So I congratulate them for that dramatic victory. And as for Chelsea, I think they need to do more defensively and offensively as well, because their defense is not anything to write home about. In the game they play against Burnley, they actually they had 39 shots at Burnley's goal, and they have 10 shots on target, and they only scored 2 goals. Well, for me, that performance is not good enough, considering their standard. But if it was the other way around, I think Burnley would have comfortably win the game. And Burnley only had 7 shots on goal on target at Chelsea's goal, and they scored 2 goals as well. So you can see the inconsistency from Chelsea, even both offensively and defensively. If they have the opportunity to play, if they played well in that game and they defended as a unit, I think they would be able to go away. They would be able to walk away with 3 points. But unfortunately for them, they conceded 2 goals, which made them to share the points with Burnley. Well, I would say congratulations to Burnley because it's not easy to play against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. Moving on to Manchester United, this is the 3rd year of Ten Hag, and I believe there should be some kind of improvement in their gameplay, in their game. There should be some glimpse of hope in their game, but every now and then their game is not. I think they will perform well in a game, then they will come back and they will drop. I don't understand the kind of that inconsistency is not good enough for me concerning Manchester United. But I will not judge the man yet because the details of his contract with Manchester United was only known by them. And I think if because he has brought in some players, so the player I brought in, I would say they were just like hits that I brought in personally on permanent basis. So if he's got the time to assemble his own player, then I can now judge him based on the kind of player that he's got at his disposal. But for me, this performance is not acceptable. As big as Manchester United is, I think they should be able to bring something out of this kind of game. They can't just play like this against Brentford and expect them to win against bigger side. Like they scored around 96 minutes and Brentford equalized at 99 minutes, which is not acceptable. They should be able to see the game. They should be able to see the game out at that point and protect that 3 points. But eventually they lost it. However, it's no disrespect to Brentford because they are also a good side. But that performance for Manchester United, this kind of game should be a winnable game for them. But eventually, they draw the game. Yes, moving on to Brighton and Liverpool game on Saturday. Well, the result is what I expect. I expect Liverpool to win because number one, they are home, and it's very difficult for any team to go to Anfield and beat Liverpool. It's very, very difficult. So for me, I expect Liverpool to win that game, and they eventually did. But I will give Brighton. Brighton did excellently well. They did well at Anfield. They broke Liverpool's press on multiple occasions, and they were not intimidated by Liverpool's press, but they lost concentration at some point in the game, especially for the second goal for Mohamed Salah. That kind of goal, because they have more bodies around the box, but that little mistake, the spaces that they were not able to close down makes Szoboszlai exploited that spaces, and eventually McAllister provided a good assist for Mohamed Salah, which gave Liverpool the victory at Anfield. But I would say this is a kind of performance that make the like of Barcelona and Liverpool to want to appoint De Zerbi as the next manager, because I think tactically that man is very, very sound, and you can see from the ball play of Brighton. If he had more material in Brighton, I think he would actually be in top four. But eventually, all the players he's got, he is performing wonders with them, and that is the reason why the likes of Barcelona and Liverpool are actually looking at bringing him to their team. You understand? And lastly, the big game of the weekend, Manchester City versus Arsenal. I said in my last video that Manchester City may use the 4-2-3-1 system and make it difficult for Arsenal to play from the midfield, which they eventually did, and they also overloaded the midfield and the wings, making it difficult for Arsenal to actually build up from the back and eventually penetrate through the middle. So they actually forced Arsenal to play long balls throughout the game. In the first half, Arsenal were very low on confidence, and they couldn't actually build up from back as they usually do all season long, and that actually caused problem for them. It caused problem for Arsenal, and in the second half, they did not even try to build up from the back. They play long, and they have Avatar up front who eventually have that power to fight on air and to retain the ball for Arsenal to play. But the Arsenal actually played. They did well because the high level of resilience they show against Man City limits Manchester City to only to a single attempt on target throughout the game. That's quite impressive, because that is just the first time that Man City didn't score at Etihad for the past 2 years. Can you imagine? And Gabriel and Saliba, actually, they are the best central defense in the Premier League as we speak. Big performance from both of them. They actually silenced Haaland throughout the game. He was lonely up front. He couldn't do anything. They were all over him throughout the game, and that is kind of a performance you want from your center defense. Arsenal have the central the best defense in the league for a reason, simply because Gabriel and Saliba, they are the best pair and they complement each other in that defense. So that was an impressive performance. Well, Manchester City actually they tried their best to make the game difficult for Arsenal, and they completely dominate the game from start to finish. Arsenal couldn't break the aggressive press from the back, as they usually, most of them are especially David Raya was low on confidence, and his distribution wasn't good enough especially in the first half. If he wants to clear the ball, he cleared the ball to the detriment of his teammates, and that forced Arsenal to play long in the second half. They only managed to play in the midfield after the introduction of Thomas Partey towards the end of the game. And if that has happened earlier, I think they may actually have the chance to actually bring something out of the game. But the point is actually a good result for Arteta, because that Arsenal has never won at Etihad since 2015. So I think Arsenal, the way I see Arsenal, they actually suck the pressure and hit them on counter attack, or wait them to make mistake, and then they capitalize on it. And Manchester eventually lost the ball in the dangerous area to Arsenal, but Arsenal couldn't capitalize on those mistakes. And for me, Arsenal's midfield is quite strong this season as well. The likes of Declan Rice has continuously displayed why Arsenal had to pay such huge amounts to bring him in. And this guy is a machine. Honestly, the guy is a machine. Well, I think for me, Arsenal actually did well. They did well against it, and their resilience actually paid off. It gave them a point after it gave them a point at the Etihad, which is a good result for Arsenal. And Manchester City, well, let's see what will happen. Can Arsenal actually mount a title challenge? Will Liverpool maintain their position, and can Manchester City actually bounce back from this kind of result? Share your thoughts in the comments below as we unravel the excitement of the remaining 9 games of the season. Don't miss out on the latest updates. Hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more insightful updates from the Premier League. Thank you so much for sticking around, and thank you very much for your support. I sincerely appreciate each and every one of you. I am Yusuf Opeyemi Balogun, and I will see you soon in another episode. Thank you very much.